She was very beautiful, always poised and distant. At the time the girls were born, it was all so perfect. She created a world around us where there was always a kind of harmony. And suddenly, I was staring into a face I didn't recognize.
Gene Shalit of NBC TV calls Interiors a masterpiece. It ranks with the finest films ever made. A work of art. You must see it.
Joey, it's as though you don't care whether we get back together or not.
You're crazy. Why wouldn't I want you to be happy? I just think you shouldn't delude yourself.
Will you tell him how well I've been doing, that my work is finally flourishing again, and that my mood swings are less rapid?
He doesn't care.
Penelope Gilliatt of The New Yorker calls Interiors Woody Allen's most majestic work to date, as true a tragedy as any that has come out of America in my memory. A consuming film.
I think you should do as you feel with our blessing.
Joey, I count on you.
I'm sorry. I can't help it.
Will you tell him it's okay? Obviously, it's your approval he needs.
He certainly had no trouble getting yours.
Clearly, it doesn't mean as much as yours.
I want the support of all my daughters.
Vincent Canby of the New York Times says Interiors is an intelligent, beautifully composed and acted movie.
They're so enthusiastic. College kids. I get embarrassed.
Oh, well, don't get embarrassed. Don't come. Stay home and drink yourself unconscious. That's one of the cliches of being a novelist you've had no problem with.
Judith Christ says Interiors crosses an entirely new frontier, dealing directly and perceptively with the human condition.
Mom?
Nothing to live for anymore.
No, Mom, don't say that.
It's true.
You know that's not true. Mother, it's all right, Mom.
Charles Champlin of the Los Angeles Times says Interiors is a somber, intense, and stunning new work. A movie of uncompromised purity. Interiors is thrilling.
Be careful!
What's the
I'm
drink?
not drunk just because I don't act like an animal.
Interiors, starring Kristen Griffith, Mary Beth Hurt, Richard Jordan, Diane Keaton, E.G. Marshall, Geraldine Page, Maureen Stapleton, and Sam Waterston.
Oh, I just want to die.
Stop that.
I just hate my...
Interiors, written and directed by Woody Allen.
Hi there and welcome back to Dave's Movie Diary. Interiors from 1978. Really funny stuff. Not. This is a non-comedy Woody Allen film, and I watched it for two reasons. One is that it's soon to disappear from Prime Amazon's feed, so I thought, yep, I'll get in and watch it. Second, I haven't seen it for 30-something years. I've only seen it once. I thought I'd go back and give it a rewatch. And third, I recently gave a fairly critical review of Manhattan on this podcast. So I thought I should do the right thing and check out some other Woody Allen films at the same time and see if I've completely changed my opinion on them too. And so really a lot of this ties into how I choose what to watch. I tend to notice what's leaving streaming platforms and I try to get to it before it disappears, because some of these films don't come back. And for this film, Interiors, I've never actually seen it on a streaming platform until now. And so, yeah, took the plunge. You only live once, right? So like I said, I only saw this film once, probably over 30 years ago. My memory is that it was quite different from his usual films. Much colder, much more restrained. And I did read once, ages ago, that it was described as Woody Allen trying to make an Ingmar Bergman-style drama. And they are my memories of it. And I don't have fond memories of it. I couldn't tell you what it was about unless I read the IMDb entry or the Letterboxd entry. So all I remember is that it was really serious. Didn't land with me the first time. Never watched it again. It's basically about a family, a typical Woody Allen family. Well, I'll go back a step. This is not a typical Woody Allen film. For one thing, he's directing it and he wrote it, but he's not starring in it. I can't remember that happening too many times, and I don't think it had happened up to this point. This film came out in between Annie Hall and Manhattan. It is about a traditional type of Woody Allen family, though, in that they are all upwardly mobile, intellectual, well-off New York people, and they all have various neuroses and probably have analysts and are totally caught up in themselves, and they're trying to deal with, in this situation, a family where Diane Keaton, Mary Beth Hurt, Kristen Griffith play three sisters who are adults. I mean, this is 1978, so they're probably, I don't know, late 20s, early 30s. And their parents are splitting up. Their father, who's a successful lawyer, tells the mother, who seems to be, I don't think she has a career, but she's like holding the family together while he went off and made the money, I think, as a lawyer. He suddenly comes out in front of the two of the daughters, I think, and the mother, and without any ado, just says, "Oh, by the way, I'm leaving. I'm moving out." Doesn't break it to his wife first. Just puts it out there, and his wife goes off into a deep funk, and then we're off and running. Chaos ensues. The mother is blaming the daughters in various ways for not supporting her enough, and then the daughters are at each other. One of the daughters is a moderately successful actress, good-looking, flashy, always jet-setting around. That's the Mary Beth Hurt character. The other daughter, Renata, is played by Diane Keaton, and she's a reasonably successful author. She is married to a guy played by Richard Jordan, who is an unsuccessful novelist, but he's quite original, and but he's got massive issues with his confidence, and he can't handle being with her because she's successful and he's not. So he's drunk all the time. And Kristen Griffith, as the younger daughter, can't seem to work out what she wants to do. She's floundering around a bit. She's partnered up with Sam Waterston's character. He's more of a normal guy, normal in a Woody Allen kind of film sense, in that he's sort of relatable and says normal things. And anyway, so the mother's stomping around and still holds out hopes of getting back together with the father. The father, meanwhile, couldn't be happier. Like, he's finally away from this woman, and I tell you what, I'm with him. She's pretty hard to live with. She's pretty controlling. She's a diva. So I would have been out of there too. He eventually meets up with a polar opposite kind of a woman played by Maureen Stapleton. Character's name's Pearl. She's really down to earth. She's living a life. She wants experiences. She's happy to make mistakes. She's normal. And it's what happens between all these people trying to be unhappy together and try and feel better about themselves. So yeah, it's typical Woody Allen stuff, but without the comedy. There's not really laughs in this film. It's a serious drama. And yeah, it was a really interesting watch, actually. Few reasons. Visually, it's extraordinary. And it's again, the cinematography is again by Gordon Willis, who seems to be Woody Allen's guy, and I've heard that he's one of these standout cinematographers. It's interesting because everything is shot in a really controlled and muted way. So for a start, this is filmed during winter, I think, or if it's not winter, it's the cold part of autumn or spring. It's definitely not summer. A lot of it's filmed at the family's kind of beach house, somewhere upstate, I assume. And it's cold and windy, and everyone's wearing pullovers and jackets and 3 layers. But get this, everything, the houses, the people, everything is coloured brown, beige, grey, or off-white. Everything. Even on a large screen, you'd notice the detail in every frame. The textures, the fabrics, the furniture, and architecture. So everything stands out beautifully. I don't have a 4K TV, but everything is beautifully framed, but it's in these muted colours, right? Controlled, which goes along with the subject matter and the dialogue and everything. So it's really beautiful, but it's really emotionally cold at the same time. And the interiors themselves feel quite oppressive, like the spaces are part of the emotional story. Even the ocean is drained of colour. I kid you not, the water in the ocean looks kind of brownish, and it's definitely not, obviously. So Gordon Willis must have shot this through a brown Hessian bag or something to get this sort of beigey colour. And I know in the late 70s for these type of people, beige was a go-to, and it was kind of in fashion there for a while. But it's done on purpose, and it really works because everything is minimalist. Like even in the architecture, which is beautiful, there's some fantastic furniture. So shout out to whoever did the set designs. But it's all really controlling and cold. Cold sums it up. So I get the Ingmar Bergman references. The performances are quite interesting. Diane Keaton, like, I know I didn't really enjoy Manhattan too much on the rewatch, but Diane Keaton was great, and in this she's even better. Must be an age thing, but I'm really noticing and appreciating Diane Keaton more and more over time. And I said this on the Manhattan pod, like I've always known she's a great actor, but and an RIP, she passed away sadly last year. But I think I was only appreciating her technical aspects and recognizing, hey, she's a great actress, but she's really captivating. She's got these incredible eyes, and even though she's dressed down, like Woody Allen, I know was with her for a while romantically, but it's like he's trying to hide her from the whole world in these films I've seen her in. She's got the worst outfits and the worst, daggiest, lumpy costumes, and her hair's never done. It's never done up like it would be in Hollywood, or if she was going out somewhere. It's really dowdy, but still she's really captivating and charismatic and attractive. And yeah, she just owns this film as well, for me. And she again displays that really sharp intelligence, and she's cutting, and she's putting Richard Jordan in his place, and he deserves it. I mean, I don't know why she hangs out with him. She could do so much better. So she's fantastic. She's got a natural presence here that really feels emotionally open in contrast to everyone around her. Apart from Pearl, played by Maureen Stapleton. But it made me think that Woody Allen gets a lot of flack, right? He's kind of been cancelled nearly in our culture today. But I think in a lot of these films, in a weird sort of way, he writes stronger female characters than male ones. Like the men in these films, often to me anyway, feel emotionally limited. They're very self-absorbed. They're weak. And the women sort of carry a lot more of the emotional weight, even though there's a lot of chauvinism in his films. The women put the men in their place. And Diane Keaton, she's like boss level in this film with Richard Jordan, like just snaps at him a few times. It's so good. And then she has a go with a younger sister and a mum and a dad. Like, I do like strong women, I have to admit. And maybe that's why I'm appreciating Diane Keaton more and more. So I feel like checking out a lot more of her films that I thought were good technically, but I just didn't notice her for as a performer and as a woman. The other standout for me, and I touched on it, was Pearl, played by Maureen Stapleton. She comes out of the blue to a family gathering late in the film with the patriarch of the family, and he doesn't announce that he's bringing a new woman into this thing with his daughters and their partners, and she just shows up, and it's a little bit awkward. They do, most of them try and make her feel at home, and they ask her questions and try and find out about her, and she's just really transparent and earthy and normal, and she's been around, she's had 2 ex-husbands, and she's sick of not living a life, and she's been on cruises, and she enjoys her life, and she laughs and does all the things they don't do, and she wears colours. This is the first time in the film we see any colour apart from beige, brown, or off-white, and she wears red. She's got red fingernails. She laughs a lot. She's earthy, like I said. She completely stands apart from everyone else in the film, and I loved her in this film. Everyone else is trapped in analysis and emotional paralysis, and she's really instinctive, trusts her her gut instincts, forms an opinion quickly and sticks to it. She's the only one who's living a life instead of over-intellectualizing things. And by the end of the film, she feels like the opposite of everyone else's interiors. She exists in the exteriors, to me anyway. And again, like all Woody Allen films, it's all dialogue, right? There's very little action. There's some dancing. There's some some ceramics get smashed. There's a scene that nearly borders on rape, but it doesn't quite get that far. That's about as much action that happens. And so this film's really centering on divorce and family breakdown. And that's another thing that struck me, is that this is the time, I reckon, when this kind of subject matter started to become really popular for filmmakers. Obviously, I think of Kramer vs. Kramer around this time. Even Manhattan, Ordinary People by Robert Redford, Tootsie. A lot of these films were centering on families breaking down, because that's what was happening in the culture. Families were breaking down. Divorces were happening. People were cheating and getting caught, and it was acceptable to divorce. So it really became a central subject in cinema, and Interiors fits right into that broader shift. And this is completely different for Woody Allen. Like I said, he's not trying to find any jokes in this situation. I realised that pretty quickly. It's really focused on the emotional distance and the breakdowns and the silences between these people, the silences in between them fighting with each other, and so it's different. And I have to say, again, I've changed. I've really changed. I thought this was a really good film. Enjoyable, it is not. But it's well paced. There's lots of great scenes in terms of dialogue, and you'll no doubt have your favourite characters in this. And look, I am swayed by Diane Keaton for lots of reasons, but I just thought she was the one trying to say, come on, get a hold of yourself, just realise what you've got, and stop whining all the time. You know, to a sister, to a mother. She was trying to whip people into shape, and I really, really liked it. And I think Woody Allen decided for this one to not go for some comedy drama mix, which he usually does. He just thought, no, stuff it. I'm gonna make a cold and emotionally draining film about family breakdowns, which he did well. So I think this one lands really well. The mother is really an abrasive, annoying character, so she didn't work for me at all. So that's the Geraldine Page character. She worked for me in explaining why the dad left, and the only thing that I couldn't work out is why he didn't leave earlier. I assume it's because he thought his 3 daughters were now old enough to handle it, but they were much older than you'd expect. Like, they seemed to be, like I said, mid to late 20s. So kudos to him for hanging in there for that long, I reckon. Lots of this is a really corny joke, but when I was watching it towards the end, I thought maybe this shouldn't be called Interiors. Maybe it should be called Inferiors, because everyone apart from Diane Keaton seems to think they're inferior. Even her actress sister, who seems to have it all, downplays herself and says, "No, I'm not that good." And the younger sister's always whining on, and the mother, obviously, and a partner, and everyone's questioning themselves and double questioning and overthinking things and feeling inferior. So it's really only Diane Keaton, I'll get that right, character, her father, and Pearl, played by Maureen Stapleton, that seem to have control of their lives and weren't whining or getting drunk for the whole film. So yeah, this one stuck to being a pretty good dramatic look at a family breaking apart, and I thought it held up quite well. And there's some wrenching scenes throughout the film, and especially as we get towards the end. So I thought it really played better in the moments when the characters just let themselves go and went at each other, and things really loosened up and felt natural and realistic. So really substantial film, and I can see why the critics loved it, as you heard in the trailer. And it really landed a lot better with me now. I can see why I wouldn't have liked it when I was 23 or 24, however old I was when I saw it. I would have thought, what's wrong with all these people? And I wouldn't have understood how this happens in a family, because my family's nothing like that. And I just wouldn't have had the headspace or the maturity to understand some of the concepts that Woody Allen was getting across. Now, being more than twice the age I was then, I can get across it. And yeah, I think it's worth a watch if you're keen to watch Woody Allen in a different gear that I can't remember him revisiting too often. So yeah, I came away a lot more impressed than I expected to be. Not a comfortable film, but for me a fascinating one, and I was pleasantly surprised. Well, not pleasantly, I was surprised. Good film, and worth checking out. And it's still on Prime Amazon at the moment, but it won't be on there for much longer by the looks of it. So there you go. Once again, I've flipped my opinion around. The aging process has stepped in and changed the way I think about things. Big surprise, isn't it? Anyway, that's it for me for this episode. That's Interiors by Woody Allen. Check it out and catch you next time.